Welcome back. South Africa's Archbishop Desmond Tutu is now 83, but his health seems to be failing him. In just 2 weeks, the renowned Archbishop has been to the hospital twice. He was what has only been described as persistent infection, which his foundation says that it's unrelated to the prostate cancer he has had for about 15 years now. Archbishop Tutu retired from public life in 2011, but he has continued to travel. The 83-year-old Nobel Peace Laureate cancelled a planned trip to Rome that was back in December following another infection. He was born in 1931. He is known for his strong criticism in the 70s on the apartheid regime. He was awarded Nobel Peace Prize in 1934, and he is the first black Archbishop of Cape Town. Now, one of those on the U.S. trip with the president is the governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, who claims that an unnamed state official told them that an undisclosed former minister stole about $6 billion of public funds. During last month's visit, Mr. Muhammadu Buhari said he sought help from the United States to repatriate Nigerian stolen funds amounting to about $150 billion. According to the governor, that's according to Oshiomhole, the officials reportedly described the theft during the PDP's rule as earthquaking. Now, Nigeria is Africa's biggest oil producer, but the majority of its citizens live in abject poverty. All still to come on West African leaders meet in Cameroon to strengthen border ties. Welcome back. You're still watching Network Africa. Leaders of the West African sub-region are meeting in Cameroon to discuss how to strengthen the border areas to prevent more attacks by Boko Haram. President Muhammadu Buhari is joining that meeting in Cameroon. According to his media assistant, Mr. Garba Shehu, the meeting is a continued effort aimed at rubbing minds on how to contribute troops to battle the Boko Haram insurgency. Now, 8,700 troops from Cameroon, Chad, Niger, and Nigeria are to come fully into operation. That will be next month. And joining me to discuss with the Cameroon and Nigeria border ties in the African continent, I'm now being joined on Network Africa by Colonel Ola Majoyeogbe, a retired military officer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, Colonel, we know that the target of President Muhammadu Buhari is to tighten the borders in Nigeria, countries surrounding Nigeria. How does he plan to go about this?
Well, I'm aware that the president plans to do that. In fact, in the last 20 years or so, to the best of my knowledge, there have been committees, study groups, making recommendations on this issue. And the reason is that we have extensive borders. The border, for instance, to the east of Borno State alone is 1,500 kilometers. And in some of these places, the vegetation is the same. There are no hills, mountains, or rivers. And since we are not in the age when China built a huge wall, you can't possibly fence the border. So what have we been doing? We'll take a little bit out of 1,500 kilometers and put a small border post, which many times cannot be defended. How is the president going to do this? I do not know, but I can hazard a guess. Number one, he's going to cause our borders to be patrolled more than they are being patrolled now. Two, he's going to equip all the security agencies who work at the border, i.e. immigration, customs, and so on and so forth. Three, I do not know whether he's looking in this direction. Okay. He may have to use technical means. What does that mean? There is no border but there are equipment running for kilometers, which once anybody crosses that line, it works on infrared, an alarm will go off. This can be very, very expensive. But given the kind of situation we are in, I don't think there's any amount of money that will be too much. Otherwise, people just keep. Do you know in Nigeria, go to the Republic of Benin here, you know, you find part of the family is on this side, the other part is here. You know, they go to the market on this side and come home to Nigeria. Same thing with Chad, same thing with Cameroon, same thing with the Republic of Benin. And if nothing is done about these porous borders, it is going to continue to create security problems for us.
So you think this is the right thing to do at this time?
Absolutely.
The right step to take by President Muhammadu Buhari?
Absolutely. Well, if the question comes up later, I will see how I can tie this into some other things that he's doing. But that is a very important step to take.
All right. So looking at equipment presently in Nigeria, looking at manpower, do you think Nigeria is ready and we have enough to end this menace, Boko Haram?
Oh, well, I'd like to make some opening statements because I believe that this will profit our viewers, particularly Nigerians. Boko Haram must fail. I'd like to say that again. Boko Haram must fail. And this is the reason. Boko Haram wants to establish a country of their own, like the Islamic State between Syria and Iraq. That is not going to happen. Because I have not seen that president, whether it's a civilian or has military background, that would allow anybody to take a part of the country's territory. Because you swore to defend the Constitution. So I don't care how much they arm, I don't care what tactics they cannot succeed. We have 170 million people, and we have at the least 500,000 people under arms. How can a bunch of people succeed in taking the territory and declaring it another country? Now, the second point is this. Because Boko Haram is very good with propaganda, I believe that there are very smart people working with Boko Haram. They put a lot of information on the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
We are going to attack this place. Then they get a cameraman, they video it, they put it on the internet. What is Nigeria doing? Nigeria will now react to what you're saying. No. People should understand that this Boko Haram war is a battle for the mind, hearts and mind of people.
Yeah.
In other words, Boko Haram says the kind of Islam you are practicing is wrong. Christianity, you cannot practice it. You cannot rule with the Constitution. It has to be the Quran. Therefore, children must not go to school, male or female children. You cannot have a local government headquarters because it's not the Constitution. Now, I thought that by now, government would have made so much publicity about this so that every Nigerian knows what they are asking is not possible.
Okay, so as a retired military officer now, what do you think should be done to end Boko Haram finally in Nigeria?
Good. Let me say that some of the things I'm going to say are not original because they've already been done.
Yeah.
The war has been on. Maybe I'm a little biased, but that is my view that the steps that have been taken now are excellent. We'll go to other things that could be done. First, the president takes office. He wants to make key appointments. Then he appoints 6 senior military officers. Yeah. Okay. Now, the chief of the first staff and the chief of the 3 services. Then he goes ahead to appoint 2 key intelligence officers, which even the Constitution says he can appoint without approval of the Senate.
right.
That shows that he knows what the problem is.
All right, I'm going to ask this very sensitive question. Is amnesty an option in this matter, in this whole matter?
Please, let me kill this last point.
Okay.
You know, so the president, in appointing these outstanding officers to man the intelligence, is saying we need intelligence.
All right.
And because this is, at the end of the day, we'll get to that, is going to become an intelligence war. Okay? So amnesty is totally, absolutely out of the question. Why do I say that? The Niger Delta militants said, oh, give us oil, give us scholarship, give us money. Those are things that are easy to do. I was on that panel that worked on the amnesty for President Yaradua. So government said, okay, we give you amnesty, go to the university, take this. Boko Haram is asking for things that are not possible to give.
All right. So what do you think, for the ordinary Nigerian now, what do you think they can contribute to this?
Good. For the average Nigerian to contribute what they should, government has to take the lead.
All right.
And that is, they must know what is going on. They must give information, because Boko Haram elements are not
finally,
ghosts.
because we're running out of time already, okay, please, what do we expect from this summit now that's happening in Cameroon?
Oh, a lot.
All right.
Number one, we have Chad, Niger, Benin Republic. And Boko Haram elements used to run into these countries after causing havoc in Nigeria. Once this force takes over, there is nowhere to run to. So if they hit anyone and our troops pursue them, they cannot go to any, so they'll be encircled.
All right. Thank you very much. I've been talking to Ola Majoyeogbe, Colonel Ola Majoyeogbe, a retired military officer. We'll be talking about the Cameroon and Nigerian border ties. Well, it's on that note, we call it a day. We draw the cuttings on this edition of Network Africa. Thank you so much for watching. I am Anne Mwawadu.